And we are live. What's up, everybody? Welcome back. Gonna get things set up and we'll be ready to go. Okay. Oh, wait. Hold on. Almost spoke too soon. Forgot. Almost ready to go. Okay. Alrighty. What's up, everybody? Welcome to episode 83 of Benny the Booth podcast. Thank you so much for your support to this plan. Very much do appreciate it. If you weren't aware, there was no episode last week because I was in Minnesota. I have posted that back. I had a fast day, so I got it done over the fast day. If you want to check it out, is on the YouTube channel. Uh, Go check it out if you get a chance. I'm going to talk about the games though. I went to those games. I also went to another game uh, since the last time we've met, and then a bunch of other things. Let's get right into it. So MLB recap. I guess not really weekly, but recap. So let's start with the perfect game. So I'm gonna get the big thing out of the way. There are probably people wondering, well, why didn't you put out an immediate reaction to Domingo Ron throwing a perfect game against the Oakland A's? I think it was like 2 weeks ago at this point now. And it's a fair question. And here's my answer. It's not, I didn't want to. It's more of anyone else who had tried to put out a congratulation or immediate or a good positive reaction to getting over mound throwing perfect game got completely ripped to shreds because let's just say he did a nice thing to his wife a few years ago. So like anyone who would try to give him any sort of credit for the perfect game of like positivity, it's like they immediately got ripped to shreds, even to the extent that uh, people had taken down there giving credit to him about it, or like congrats to him. So that's why I didn't post an immediate reaction. I actually did watch the end of it. I guess kind of congrats, kind of not. I just don't want to get into the whole line of fire of people getting ripped to shreds for trying to even post anything positive towards it. So that's why I didn't post an immediate reaction. If it was anyone else that didn't have history of it, I would have for sure. But just with that, there was no way it was going to happen. Just wanted to get that out of the way before anything else for this episode. But yeah, that's why I didn't post an immediate reaction about Domingo Moran through the first perfect game since King Felix in 2012, and he did against the Oakland A's. Anyways, moving on. Let's get into the Minnesota games I went to in Target Field, and this is a great ballpark, by the way. The one thing I show in the vlog is between two of the gates, which I forget which gates it's by. There's a whole wall on the opposite side of Target Field. So let's say this is Target Field, and opposite it, but right near it is like this wall of former Twins players' baseball cards. Big names, small names, popular just to Twins fans names, a whole bunch of them. And it was just like a cool thing to see. Also, something different they do there is the gates there are numbered after former players that have their jersey number retired by the Twins. So one was like Killebrew. They had one for Carew. They had one for Kirby Puckett. I think there was one for Tony Oliva. I forget all of them, but those are like some of them. And that's like kind of a cool thing they have there. So let's get into the games I went to there. First game I went to July 3rd. Well, the opening pitch of the ball game was hit out for a home run by Michael Garcia, who's not known for power, but has like sneaky power, more of a contact error. Decided to take first pitch gone, and I'm like, okay, here we go. We're in for one. How does the Twins immediately respond? Oh, Carlos Correa, the leadoff hitter for the Twins, hits a leadoff double in the first pitch, which is like, okay, here we go. We got a game tonight, which it kind of did, but kind of didn't. I'll explain as we get it along. Twins immediately tied it on a Buxton RBI sac fly that actually was decent play by MJ Melendez, but still got the tying run. Then the Twins got a base runner in Willie Castro. He stole second and scored on a bloop single by Michael A. Taylor to give the Twins a 2-1 lead. Royals would tie it back, though, on a Nick Prado RBI single. Twins would regain the lead on a swing that, if the wind was blowing out, which means more offensive friendly, that's a grand slam with the bases loaded from Byron Buxton, except wind was blowing in. Just a sac fly, just scored a run, and made it 3-2. That would stick all the way to the 8th. Joe Ryan pitched a solid game for the Twins. Austin Cox was not so good, or Austin Cox was not good, per se, for the Royals. 8th inning, Nick Prado just hits one off the right field foul pole to tie it at 3-3. And it's like, okay, here we go. Because there was a few innings between that home run and the Buxton sac fly. Bottom of the 8th, pinch hitter Edouard Julien, who for context played for Team Canada in the World Baseball Classic. So I had heard of him, but wasn't like a big name. What does he do? Leadoff home run. Twins take the lead, a part of a 5-run 8th. They grabbed an 8-3 lead by the end of the 8th. The Royals made a threat in the 9th. They got a run. Had Salvi on deck, who could have been the tying run, but the Twins got out of it to win the first one 8-4. The second game actually had some historic marks. Harold Willie Castro had a stolen base. That was his 17th of the season and most on the team at the time. I haven't checked in a while to see if he still has most. But also most for the Twin before the All-Star break since Eduardo Nunez in 2016. And this was more of a blowout than the first game. Twins won 9-3. They had the lead from beginning to end. Royals cut it to 2 with 2-run homer by Bobby Witt Jr. Kent Maeda pitched well. Now I know what I was looking at. But then Solano and Buxton went back to back, and that pretty much was the writing on the wall for the Twins. And Yeah, so Twins won both the games, but very good ballpark target field, and definitely worth checking out if you ever get a chance. I want to see if Willie Castro is still leading the Twins in stolen bases. Let's see. Yes, two more than the number I had recorded. He's now at 19, as it's the All-Star game tonight, by the way. Okay, so beyond the game, two games in Minnesota that I went to. I went to one other game. We'll get to that in a bit. Jameson Taillon versus the Yankees for the first time since being with them. Got the win, going 8 innings, giving up 1 hit. The Yankees only had 2 hits all night. No runs, 2 walks, 4 strikeouts, and the Cubs 3-0 win over the Yankees. That was just a big surprise because it's like Carlos Rodon made his debut and actually pitched pretty good. He gave up 2 runs in 5 2/3, but pretty good outing. And just sad because Taillon wrecked the Yankees lineup. And it's also like rough for the Yankees because it's like if there was one game that they should have had an almost guarantee win, it would have been against Taillon, who's been terrible this year and still has a 6+ ERA. And yet against him, they flounder, and only get 1 hit in 8 innings and 2 walks. That's a sign that the Yankees are probably not going to be turning around their season. I'm almost ready, if not ready, to say that this season's down in the dumpster. I mean, they already fired. I think they're pretty much, if not, are about to fire their hitting coach and possibly replacing him with former MLB player Sean Casey. There's a rumor about the replacement part. But either way, Cubs won. That was the Friday game. 3-0. Yankees won on Saturday. Fixed Stanton 2-homer game, which pretty much most of the time, if Stanton has 2 homers in the game, you're not going to win a game. Yankees will win most of the time. Matt Manning, Jason Foley, and Alex Lynn combined to no-hit Toronto 2-0. Atlanta has 168 homers before the All-Star break, which has them on pace for 311, which would be most in MLB history, ahead of the 307 from 2019 Minnesota Twins. I actually realized that might not even be fully up to date. I have to see when I mark that down. Give me 1 minute. Sorry. When it might have been Friday's game. They beat the Rays 2-1. Took 2 out of 3 from Tampa in the series. Friday. Yeah, so it's Friday. I think I had included Saturdays. And then Sundays. I don't think I included Sunday. 1 minute, sorry. Their phone number before the All-Star break is 169. But yeah, on pace to break the record by the 2019 Twins. Either way, 9-run fourth lead Seattle over Houston 10-1. Ellie De La Cruz stole second, third, and home on 3 pitches in a Reds 8-5 win over the Brewers. He stole third and home on the same pitch, catching the defense off guard. I went to Cubs-Yankees series finale in New York. The Cubs came back from down 4-1 to beat the Yankees 7-4 for first regular season series win over the Yankees since 2003. And first time even winning in the Bronx in general ever. I think games or series. So I was happy to be there for that milestone. Early on it was close, but the Cubs pulled away late. And once they got out of the 8th unscathed, I knew door shut. Because Adbert Alzolay been shut down for the Cubs. Shut down reliever for the Cubs this year. Patrick Corbin, first 4 batters were strikeouts and facing all-stars in Marcus Semien, Corey Seager, Josh Young, and Adolis Garcia, in his first to do so since Roger Clemens on September 3rd, 2002 versus the Red Sox, facing Johnny Damon, Shane Hildenbrand, Nomar Garcia-Parra, and Manny Ramirez in a national 7-2 win over the Rangers. 7-run 5th and 6-run 6th lead Baltimore sweep over the Twins 15-2. And Logan Webb, through his first career complete game shutout, 7 hits, no run, no walks, 10 strikeouts, And the 1-0 Giants won over the Rockies. J.D. Davis solo home run was the only run in that game. So that's all the recap for prior going into All-Star break. Last night was the home run derby. And before I get into standings update, let's go through the home run derby results. So the bracket was set up as follows. It could be I went over this, but just to remind, it was 1 seed Luis Robert Jr. against 8 seed Adley Rutschman, 4 seed Adolis Garcia versus 5 seed Randy Rosarino, 2 seed Pete Alonso versus 7 seed Julio Rodriguez, and then 3 seed Mookie Betts versus 6 seed Vladimir Guerrero Jr. Even though Adley Rutschman had hit from both sides in his first round, Luis Robert Jr. beat him out by 128-27. Randy Rosarino wrecked Adolis Garcia 24-17. Adolis had he also got pitched badly. Julio Rodriguez wrecked Pete Alonso 41-21, and Vlad Jr. wrecked Mookie Betts 26-11 to set up Luis Robert Jr. versus Randy Rosarino and Vlad Jr. versus Julio Rodriguez. Randy Rosarino wrecked Luis Robert Jr. 35-22, and then Vlad Jr. edged out Julio Rodriguez by 121-20 to set up Randy versus Vlad Jr., which going into the final, meaning Vlad had a chance to become him and his dad, who had won the home run derby in 2007, first father-son duo to win a home run derby, and he pulled it off, edging out Randy Rosarino 25-23. Randy fell short even with bonus time, and Vlad Jr. is your 2023 home run derby champion. It was a great home run derby this year, and congrats to Vlad Jr. I was wanting J-Rod, Julio Rodriguez, just because the host city player, but it was still a great home run derby, and that's the main part that matters. So let's get into standings update. Not much has changed a lot around baseball. Yankees ended up in fourth. It's Rays, Orioles, Blue Jays, Yankees, and Red Sox for AL East. AL Central is Guardians, Twins, Tigers, White Sox, and Royals. The AL West is Rangers, Astros, Mariners, Angels, and A's. NL East is Braves, Marlins, Phillies, Mets, and Nationals. NL Central is Reds, Brewers, Cubs, Pirates, Cardinals, and NL West is Dodgers, Diamondbacks, Giants, Padres, and Rockies. That's the standings update. And what's today? Tonight, in a few hours, is the MLB All-Star Game. Before I get into the lineups, because they are out, I'm going to go through the lineups. The pitching matchup is very interesting. It's Garrett Cole versus Zach Gallen. Cole's the first Yankee pitcher to start an All-Star game since Roger Clemens in 2001 in Seattle. And Zach Gallen is the first starting pitcher for Arizona to start an All-Star game since Randy Johnson in that same All-Star game back in 2001, which is very fitting. AL lineup tonight, Marcus Semien, Shohei Ohtani, Randy Rosarino, second base, DH, and left field, respectively. Corey Seager, Yandy Diaz, and Adolis Garcia, shortstop, first base, right field. Austin Hayes, Josh Young, and Jonah Heim, center field, third base, and catcher. Semien of the Rangers, Ohtani of the Angels, Randy of the Rays, Seager of the Rangers, Yandy Diaz of the Rays, Adolis Garcia of the Rangers, a whole bunch of Texas stars, and a whole bunch of even non-stars. Austin Hayes of the Orioles, Jung of the Rangers, Heim of the Rangers. And then for the NL, Ronald Acuna Jr. of the Braves, Freddie Freeman of the Dodgers, Mookie Betts of the Dodgers, right field, first base, and center field, respectively. J.D. Martinez of the Dodgers, Nolan Arenado of the Cardinals, Luis Arias of the Marlins, DH, third base, second base, respectively. Sean Murphy, Corbin of the Braves, Corbin Carroll of the Diamondbacks, and Orlando Arcia of the Braves, catcher, left field, and shortstop, respectively. My prediction for the All-Star game, I would love to say NL, but being realistic, NL hasn't won the All-Star game in way too long, and until they end the streak, I'm not going to believe that they're going to win the All-Star game. So we'll see what happens. But that's my prediction, and that is this week's episode of the podcast. Thank you so much for watching this week's episode of the podcast. If you are new on YouTube, leave a like, hit the subscribe button, leave a notification on so you're notified when I go live and or post a video. If you are new on audio, follow the podcast, leave a review, and hit the notification button so you're notified when I post on there. Thank you so much for watching and listening, and I will see you next week's episode number 84. Bye-bye.